Good evening, everyone. My name is Adiel Gorel. I'm the CEO of a company called ICG. We are located in the North Bay in San Rafael. I'm going to cover some of the basic stuff that I consider a must, and then I'll go on to what's new and exciting and 2015 and stuff like that. So my background is in Silicon Valley, not far from here. I grew up in a country where my family was all in real estate. My grandfather and my father were developers on a pretty large scale. And since I was a little boy, I was exposed to real estate in my household. It was always around the dinner table. And there were two choice sentences that stood out. And both of them, funnily enough, were accompanied by a certain hand motion. And they went like this: "Why didn't we buy these properties 12 years ago?" That's one. The other one was, "Why did we sell these properties 12 years ago?" So as a little boy, I was exposed to this kind of, my family would walk around with dents in their forehead because of this, but it kind of stuck. When I started looking at real estate, I was attracted naturally to the single-family home. Single-family homes are magical pieces of property. Absolutely magical. And I highly recommend them for the individual investor, which is most of us. Single-family homes are the most liquid real estate you can buy. When you go to sell your single-family home, who is your potential buyer? Everyone in the marketplace. When you go to sell the Domain Hotel, who is your potential buyer? A small group of syndicators usually, right? So it's the most liquid real estate. Single-family homes tend to go up without rhyme or reason necessarily. They don't follow cap rates. They don't follow multipliers. They go based on the emotion and psyche of the crowds. So sometimes they could give you a really fun ride. Although the flip side of that is they can go down based on the emotions of the crowd, and sometimes they could give you a very harrowing ride on the way down. Traditionally, however, historically, single-family homes have done better than 1.5 times inflation. Historically, that includes all the ups and the downs. It is insane, and that's one of the messages that I really want to drive home. Real estate investors, and especially new real estate investors, tend to want to make their life hard as possible. I need to be an expert, I need to take a workshop, no, another workshop, no, I'm not quite an expert enough. 30 years go by, 20, 10, you've taken a lot of workshop, but how many homes do you own? Looking back in time, my portfolio did best from the humble single-family homes that I bought with 30-year fixed-rate loans, and I just let them sit there. By getting good, decent single-family homes in good, decent locations with 30-year fixed-rate loans, you can set your future up completely. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you just set it aside and let it be there, it'll take care of any future wealth needs that you may have. Real estate loves time. It loves to be set aside. For those of you that have an itch to sell, I would say if you have the patience to buy a quality property and keep it for 10 years, you're likely to do well, because usually in a 10-year span, we go through 2 real estate cycles. It doesn't have to be exactly 10, maybe it's 11, maybe, but you know the idea. And if you hold your property for a period of time that encompasses 2 cycles, you can become independent of the vagaries of the cycles, because you can sell when it's the right time to sell. The Sun Belt states like Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, etc., are states that are very special. In those states, the eviction process is very quick. It could take 30, 60 days, 45 days. In Texas, I think you can even shoot them first. I'm not sure, But it's much more effective and streamlined. And so that's one strike for the Sun Belt states. The other one is prices. affordability. The Sunbelt states are special, and I wrote my first book in 1999. I was already into the fact that I was a Silicon Valley engineer and I did not want to be bothered with taking care of the property with my own hands. I own hundreds of properties. I assure you, if I were taking care of my own property, I would not be standing here and speaking to you now. I'd be hunched over a toilet at this very moment. I have people who live in countries, they don't even speak English, and they own 60 houses in the United States. What do you think their net worth is like, especially after a decade or so? It's powerful. Yours could be the same. So I called my book Remote Controlled Real Estate Riches, the busy person's guide to real estate investments.